Welcome back to Mike and Maurice's Mind Escape. Let us help you escape your mind.
All right, folks, welcome back to Mike and Maurice's Mind Escape. We have episode number 277 tonight. We're going to be discussing a little something different, the Coral Castle of the Miami area. Maurice went there. How long ago did you go there?
I think it was about a month ago.
He went there about a month ago, took some pictures. One of them is what my background is. So we'll get in.
Nice.
We'll get into all that in a little bit. I just want to thank everybody who has purchased our director's cut to view the documentary, our documentary As Within, So Without, from UFOs to DMT. There's still people checking it out, slowly rolling in, checking it out, so we really appreciate that. I will give a shout out after this weekend to all the people that joined the Patreon. I'm just compiling the list, and we'll give everybody a special shout out other than the people I already gave a shout out to that joined from the last episode. So thank you so much for the support, and hopefully everybody liked it. As far as feedback goes, I haven't gotten too much negative feedback. Not that many people have seen it yet, but we've got a good response from the people that have, so we appreciate that. And we appreciate
our uncle's watching it tonight, the guy that's in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And I mean, we appreciate any sort of like real critique or criticism too. Obviously, we're trying to make the best thing possible, and we're not above, this is our first documentary, so we're not above any sort of notes or anything like that. But shout out to, again, everybody that helped us in the process, and everybody that's in it, and Chris and Shane and Toby, and just all of our friends. So thank you. And I don't know, is there anything you want to add, Maurice? Because you weren't really here. We did an episode talking about it last time, but
I watched that. It was actually quite humbling to hear some of the comments and the praise and everything, and it's hard to take compliments sometimes, you know what I mean? I don't know if you felt like that at all, but sometimes when they're piling it on, you're just like, all right, but you gotta step back sometimes and just feel good about the work. I think we could clean it up a little bit, and we're gonna shave off some stuff for the final version when we release it on the main page. But I really appreciate everybody who's contributed money and who's joined us on the Patreon. And for $7 or whatever it is, $7 or $8, you get to watch the movie, and you get a bunch of access to all sorts of other great extra interviews and things of that nature. So pretty much everyone that's in the documentary has been on the show, and I don't know, 75% of those guys or girls have done an extra segment on the podcast too. So we really appreciate everybody. And if you haven't yet, go on the Patreon. Like I said, for I think, what is it,
777
lucky number. And you get the documentary, and then on top of that, you get a ton of more little clips and extra interviews and stuff like that from people that are from the documentary. So I think it's a good investment. Obviously, we're not really doing this to make the money. What's going to happen is we're going to take the money that we make from that and invest it into a new venture, a new project, and continue on this train of bringing knowledge and highlighting different subjects that we find interesting and think that need some more light shined on them. So that's all I have to say. I don't know if you want to do another episode, maybe closer to when we release the full.
Yeah, no, it was well said. I think we got a few emails and even some comments asking about like a Q&A type of a thing. So I think maybe closer to that when we're completely finished with the refined version, whether it's going on a platform or whatever the case may be. We can do like a Q&A type of a thing and discuss it a little bit
That'd
more.
be cool.
We're going to have some of the people that have been in it back on soon. I know Dr. Gregory Little's coming back on soon. PD will be on soon. I know he's on a trip right now.
Beautiful.
And then we have some other interviews. We're going to have Alan Piper, who wrote this book called Bicycle Day that just came out. And yeah, some other people. I'll post a list of all the people and the dates and everything when we do those interviews. But we're going to get back in the swing of things here. It was difficult releasing the documentary and trying to keep up with, just daily life stuff, work, family, all that kind of stuff, on top of the editing and refining and all that. So thanks for bearing with us, and we'll get back to regularly scheduled program. And this is actually an interesting episode because I've heard of this for a while now. It's something I've seen on different History Channel shows and stuff like that. I know Maurice. I don't know if I don't think we've talked about it on the show before. But he texted me. He's like,
I had no idea about it.
Yeah, he's like, I just went to this place. It was kind of cool. I took a bunch of pictures. I'm like, oh, I actually know about that place. So if you don't know what Coral Castle is, it's like a kind of like a, I don't even know how to explain it. It looks like a mini megalithic structure, kind of.
It's a megalithic structure for the common era, I guess, or
like a modern
era rather. Yeah.
They call it like the Florida Stonehenge and things like that. But actually, upon sight of the blocks, I actually kind of got vibes of almost like ancient Malta. I don't know if you remember those episodes we did with Laura, the megalith hunter, but
totally.
Some of the stuff, the bigger blocks and the way they're stacked, kind of reminded me of that. So yeah, I think this was built around 1923. The story behind it supposedly is this Latvian immigrant Edward is it Leedskalnin? Is that how they pronounce it?
You're exactly right about the time.
Yeah.
When it was built, 1923, but I don't know how to pronounce his name. I saw.
Yeah, it's Edward Leedskalnin. If I had to pronounce it or guess, that's what it would be. But he had, and this is, you obviously this would be illegal today, but he had a 16-year-old fiance in Latvia, and they apparently broke up or whatever, and then he came down with tuberculosis, and it was a whole thing. And then, he's got a little mysticism attached to him. Like, he claimed that he was able to heal himself via magnetism and magnets. And then the main mystery, though, the reason why we're even talking about this is supposedly, allegedly, he built this coral castle. And I'll pull up the pictures. Maurice took a bunch of cool pictures here in a second. But supposedly he built this entire structure himself. I think did they tell you? Did you take like a tour, or like what? Did you just walk around, or what?
Well, what happened was we actually got there halfway through a tour.
Okay.
So we were kind of bouncing around, and then I was, being the photographer and stuff. I got the new iPhone 14, so I was like, this is a perfect place to test this bad boy out. So like I was trying to actually kind of duck away from. First of all, when you walk in there, they go, pictures are okay, but video is not welcome. So I was like, okay. And then you're supposed to stay with the group, and you walk in, and we can kind of go through it as you show some of the photos. But like as you walk in, there's a picture of the guy,
Ed
Leedskalnin, and like I'll call him Big Ed, but the guy is 5 feet tall and 100 pounds. So again, they build up the mysticism. You walk in, there's little alien statues and stuff like that, and
they
sell it hard because they that's what they're selling there, obviously.
Yeah, there's I think there's a story. Let me see if I can find it about him like lifting these things, or somebody seeing him lift these things. Okay, yeah, here it is. It says supposedly a few teenagers had witnessed him work. One, because nobody actually saw him do any of this, but a few teenagers had claimed that they witnessed him, that he was making the blocks move like hydrogen balloons. So apparently, like floating these blocks into place. And the only tool that he is said to have used was this thing called the perpetual motion holder. And some people correlated this with like Tesla and what he was doing and stuff like that. I don't know enough about this, but I do know that that's kind of how I got sucked into looking into it, was just the mystery and the mysticism behind it. And obviously this guy seems like a weird dude if he's claiming some of these things that he's claiming. But how would he have? Do they give any plausible explanation of how he would have done any of this stuff by himself?
No, and again, they kind of try and sell the mysticism because they're trying to get more people to come and look at this thing. And um, it was the original site for it was like, I don't know, I think down the road of where it is now. It was like a couple miles away, and they actually moved it so it's like more off of a main road. So like you come off of a main road, you see all the ads and stuff like that. So again, like you have to take things with a
So
grain of
this isn't
salt.
even in the original spot
I
that these things
I
were.
do not believe so. No, because it's like right at the corner of two crossroads. But obviously with today's technology and cranes and stuff like that, you could move piece by piece and bring it over. Um, when you start going, when we talk more, maybe I can try and read in and see what's going on. But the beginning of the mysticism part is, like you said before, he had tuberculosis, uh, life-threatening tuberculosis. He was like diagnosed.
Yeah, it seemed
Either
common. Like
they said
something with
that
this story. I read something else that like somebody else he was connected to had it too. Like all these people had TB back in the day. It must have been pretty prevalent.
Yeah, and he was like diagnosed with it, and they're like, "You're gonna die soon," and then he cured himself. Um, and when you
Is
go, I
I'd
don't
have
know
to
if I,
look into that too. Like how can you even do that? Is that something that where can go away on its own sometime? That's what I'm saying. I haven't looked enough into all these little details, but
um, but,
but
so I
anyways,
wanted I wanted
yeah,
to say,
go
like,
ahead.
when you start showing some of the photos, I think there's a photo of it. There's like this
Here, do you
round.
want me to start pulling up? I'll pull up the photos. Hold on a second here. Okay. Let's just start off from. Look at this
Don't
handsome
go.
devil.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I was trying out my new iPhone 14, and it did
Oh,
not
you were trying
disappoint.
it out, bro.
It's all good.
Let's see here. Ooh,
So this photo, if you want to go, well, if you want to just go through them, or I don't know if you made a slideshow or what the
I can
deal is,
zoom
but
in on this. I think too. Let me see. Yeah, let's look at this rock. Yeah. So
well,
that's
it
called.
is coral. So
So it's called oolite limestone, is what it's called.
oh, okay.
Um,
And yes, it is somewhat light compared to what the pyramids are made out of,
right.
but um, even so,
Well, some of these blocks still look
like
massive. Like, how would you still get that thing? Actually, I think it's a 1,000 tons of block totals, I think is what I read.
it's
Used.
1,100 tons of coral that was used throughout the
Yeah.
place.
Well, I think those are small tons or short tons or whatever. But yeah, it's equivalent to like 1,000 ton. Let's see here.
In that structure that I'm leaning on, or all right.
What's
So
is this a
obviously
wrench? Is this
there's
supposed to be a wrench or what? Or a moon type thing?
no, I think it's a moon. It's all space themed, and that's
Is it?
kind of where that's kind of where the alien thing comes from. Like, there's a photo that I think we have it, but there's like a tower that has pieces of like wire that like connects it in four quadrants, and the North Star. He could tell like what season it was by what quadrant the North Star is.
So these were astronomically aligned. Were they astronomically aligned at the previous site and this current site? Like, did they do?
I don't know about that. I don't know about that moving now, because that first picture that you showed, like that's the quarry that he dug the stuff out of. Hold on a second. I don't know if you want to go into a spiel. I want to see if this guy moved this.
Do you want me to go backwards? I can go back to some of those pics from before if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if I can pull up. That's what you're talking about? That's the quarry right there.
Yeah, so like all around there. Um, it says in 1936, Edward began the 3-year process of moving Coral Castle 10 miles north to Leisure City after a
Oh, so he
component part.
moved it.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, if he
So
moved
that's
it, then
yeah. I mean, this guy. Again. I have to reiterate, like right when you walk in, it shows a picture of the guy. He's a 5 foot tall, 100 pound man. So he weighs as much, 100 pounds is.
so what you're telling me is he's secretly a gray alien.
He might be from the future.
Okay, the Muture. All right, let's go on to the next. Oh wait, was it okay? I want to
Okay,
go
so
back to
that
this.
makes sense.
But
Let
this
me let me
was
let me go
all
back
right.
though. So he started the structure 10 miles down the road, then he moved part of it, and then he finished his structure at that site that it's at now, and that's he dug out the rest of the stuff from the quarries from like the first picture that you showed. Um, so now, yeah, like this is on the outer side. So like there's like a big like ring that goes all the way around. And then when you go inside, I don't know if you have the video or not, but the picture like that's your background is the inside of it. Like the picture that we're looking at now of me looking at the moon shaped
It's like some sort of outer ring or rim or
that's the
something.
outside of it all, yeah.
Oh,
So again,
okay.
like yeah, that's the outside and then you go in and the only real castle part of it is that piece that I was kind of like looking at or I was standing in front of in the beginning there, but it's all astrology based stuff. Like that one thing to the right is like a Saturn type thing. It's like a planet with a ring around it. So again, this
Um,
guy was
yeah, I thought that looked
um
like a mushroom or a penis or something. From the other view, from looking at it the other way. Um,
yeah,
so this is between Leisure and Homestead. How far is that from
correct.
Miami?
It was only like 15-20 minutes. That's why
Oh,
I
okay.
was one of my other buddies, Eric, he was telling me, he's like, dude, you got to go see this place. It's phenomenal. I'm like, I've never even heard of it. And then I texted you, and my girlfriend was a little wasn't as impressed with as it with that with me because she really does. She was like, "What is this?" I go, "I don't even know, but we're gonna find out." You know what I mean? So like, she's been
Yeah,
all
she's
over the
not.
world.
She's
She's
not
been to the
impressed. She's got
pyramids and
like the
stuff like
yeah, exactly. She's got like literally Mayan sites where she's from.
right.
So
But at the same time, like when I walked in, I go, this isn't that crazy. But then you start walking around, then you start like learning about the history of it. You start thinking about what was going on and stuff like that, and that the fact that it was one guy, and you're standing at it, and it was made, like 100 years ago, it makes it more interesting to be at, I think.
sure, yeah. No, and they definitely play. I think. I mean, obviously, this thing's probably been on Ancient Aliens. It's probably been on all those shows. So
Yeah, and they've always proposed that question. Is it? Is it?
what's this? Some sort of pool?
Yeah, so okay, so that tower on the right-hand side, like you can see there's a little opening in there, and in that opening there's wire, and that's where you can see the North Star, and then depending on what quadrant the North Star is in, you can tell what season it is. And again, like some
So
of
this is like an astronomical observatory. But what do you mean wire?
it's just like I don't know what the wire is. It's almost looks like chicken wire or something. It's just um like a piece
Oh, I
of metal
gotcha.
that's like
I
making
gotcha.
it like a cross in that circle.
Yeah.
And then like I said, wherever the North Star is always in that inside that circle thing, but it moves around, depending on the Earth's uh rotation of whatever season it's in. You can tell what season just by looking at the North Star and seeing what like quadrant the star is in, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's cool. So this guy, I mean, he was an engineer, right? So obviously he was a intelligent person, probably understood A lot of this, and based on the way he talks, it sounds like he was into the ancient mysteries and mysticism stuff. I mean,
Well, that's what I wanted to get back to with the tuberculosis. Like, there's a wheel in the middle of it, and apparently he would just lay on this thing and like spin and like I don't know, harness the energy of the earth, I guess. So
would like spin like laying down, like he like
yeah, yeah, like he would lay on the wheel and it would spin around, and there's there's a door that like would open up, and it was all like built on this like this
the thing I do
mechanism.
know, yeah, the thing I do know is there's some sort of door that has like a floating hinge or something like that. I have heard that before.
Yeah, and he built all that, and then they tried like it broke down, probably 20 or so years ago, and then they tried to fix it, and they couldn't rebuild what this guy did on his own. So
Do
that's
they have
that's kind of
pictures of like
interesting.
what it looked like, the hinge and everything, or no?
You can like look down underneath the stone. Again, like some of the stuff, like the guys like you can't take pictures of this. So I was just trying to like get away from the group and go nuts. I mean, me and my girlfriend were doing like our own little photo shoot because there was some really cool backgrounds. Um,
Nice.
but yeah, I can. I don't know how many photos you had loaded up there, but as you go through, there's another thing that has some weird, like like swivels on this
This guy
stone that has
pondering
some.
the wrench again, just
Yeah, there
pondering
is
the
it's not
wrench.
the wrench, it's a moon,
I know,
baby,
I'm
with the sun
joking.
going down.
It just
And again,
for some reason just reminds me of a wrench whenever I look at it.
yeah, and that's from the backside too. Um,
All right. So here
Here
we
we go.
have, this is, see that one right above where Paula is?
Yeah,
Okay, that's the one that kind of reminds me of like Malta a little bit. And these like big like triangular like kind of walls or blocks.
yeah, for sure.
Is that a
And if
little
you look
well
at the
right there?
Yeah, that's like a little wishing well thing. And then if you look at like that stone to the left with the circle through it, that's the North Star stone.
Interesting. Interesting.
I threw a couple of quarters in
So
there,
what's
made a
that
wish.
littler moon or wrench thing? There's two of them.
Like I don't know. I mean,
There's
they
just a
don't really
bunch of
say
them.
what. Yeah, they don't really say what the thing is. Again, like they talk about his story. They said he was very heartbroken when his
Well, was
fiance
anybody
like left him or whatever.
did anybody ever interview this guy and get any of this information or what?
No, I don't think so. I mean, again, like when you're on the tour, they try and build up the mystery, so you tell people, so more people come. Like they're feeding. I went home and read like a ton about this because I was like, did this guy build this on his own? What was the deal? Is it impossible? And some people are like, oh, he just. Some people are like, he was just a very hard worker, but this guy went nuts. I mean, again, like people, when you're heartbroken, you go and do the Taj Mahal. I think the guy's wife died, so he built the Taj Mahal, but he didn't make the thing himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, look, it's looking at it does look cool, obviously, and it looks like wow, one person did that. But it's not like I don't look at it and be like that's completely insane. But what I will say,
Impossible, yeah.
but what I will say is like, why was he so secretive about this perpetual motion holder thing? And if he knew these kinds of secrets, why wouldn't he have applied it in a more effective way or a more helpful way to himself, as instead of this like art or something? Like, I mean, this is almost like art he's making because of his broken heart or something. I don't know.
Well, that's what everybody just says is yeah, the guy was like brokenhearted, so he went nuts and not nuts, but like he wanted to make something to be obviously occupy his time, but yeah, what are some of the fringe theories on this?
Ancient aliens say yes.
What they just
No,
say that the aliens helped
no,
them?
no. I don't know. No, I told you. Like he was able to tap into some sort of Tesla style thinking and energy, and that I think like that story about those kids watching them float blocks. Well, that's what people on the more fringe or crazier side say about like how the pyramids were built, like this idea that these blocks were floating into place. People say that about the Moai on Easter Island, that they just walked into place. But we've seen that video where the guy's tugging on both sides with the rope, and it's moving back and forth, side to side, and it looks like it's walking into place, right? So,
Right.
I'm not saying that these are the answers or anything like that. I'm just saying these are more plausible than the crazier ones. So, I mean, I don't know. I think obviously for me, it's never aliens when it's something like this. You're telling me these sophisticated interdimensional / controverse the universe build these. Yeah, it's amazing for us, but it's crude for something that supposedly has that technology, right? So,
Yeah.
from like a human engineering standpoint, I think it's absolutely possible he had some sort of tool or something that he created, or a machine or something that could totally do something or help him in some way that maybe we still don't even understand. I think that's possible.
The thing that's cool is it's so close to our time that it should be somehow like the Egyptian stuff is so once removed. We don't even know really when this thing was built. We know when this was built. Obviously, it was 100 years ago. But was there motorized? I don't know, because like if you had some kind of crane, the thing that makes me think that he did it was because he figured out that way to make that big stone door swing open.
Yeah.
So if he
Oh
could do
yeah.
that, but again, like how do you place the stuff? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
again, like these are engineering feats, and like, I mean, there's some pretty crazy things that have been done in the name of engineering that would seem alien or out of the realm of understanding to most people. I mean, again, it's there's so many different layers to this stuff. It's like, even if take a cell phone for instance, somebody could be an expert in computers and not fully, you know, understand the
yeah.
actual transmission aspects of it and things like that. But I don't know. I just don't know enough about this. Like I said, me. When I go super deep into stuff, I go into the backstory, the origin, anything you can find on this kind of stuff. And as you said, there's just not like a ton of stuff. I'm sure I could dig deeper. But yeah, I don't know.
He does look like an alien. What other photos you got?
I got some more that you have. This is
The 4.5 fingers says there's a video of him at a birthday party explaining how he did it.
oh, all right.
What do you mean a birthday party?
What is that? Is that observatory?
That's the hole with the chicken wire or whatever the wire is. But there's there's I don't know if you pulled off the photo. There's one with like engraving in a it's like a rock that's like lower down, and it looks like it's like the course of how the moon moves or something. I don't know. Fitting to
Yeah.
be a full moon today.
Ooh.
Another cool little fact is Billy Idol wrote a song about the Coral Castle.
Really?
Did you know about that? Yeah.
No, I did not know about that, but I'll have to check it out.
Find out some info.
Um,
Sweet 16. He
Here,
wrote
let me see.
it's a song about the girl leaving him and stuff like that. So
What's this? That's
there
what
it
I'm
is. That's what I'm talking about.
What is that?
That's just like I don't know. I don't know if it's the path of the moon or what
I
it
was gonna
is.
say
Some
it looks like an elliptical pattern, like like an orbit or something, like what you're talking about.
that's so that's that was a really cool piece. I was like, I got to get a shot of this. I don't know what the heck it is though.
Is that original?
What do you mean?
Well, doesn't that look like something? Is that same stone? That's something.
Yeah, I mean that's all from him.
No, I know, but do you get what I'm saying? Like that kind of looks like concrete when somebody like wrote into like fresh concrete. Now, I'm not saying that
Yeah.
that's what it is, but I'm saying that's what it looks like. That's like polished.
Apparently it's all the same stone. Like I said, it was mined from that quarry that's around the place.
Yeah.
But that thing was pretty cool. I was more enthralled with the astro side of things. I thought that was sweet. But again, it wasn't anything. I don't know. That's where you kind of, if it was 10,000 years ago and the guy knew all about like the North Star and all that stuff, it might be a different animal. But
Right.
I don't know how deep in astrology we were in the 1920s. Obviously, we knew some stuff.
Yeah. I mean, astrology is very different than astronomy. So.
But like you see those old, I can't remember what that one thing was, but it's on Joe Rogan where they have like all the planets around. That thing was super, super old. So the fact that they knew about the planets when there were no telescopes, that's a little bit more of a feat, if you ask me.
What's this?
What is it, Sumerian or something?
We've already talked about that. We debunked it on our own Mysteries and Metaphysics. What's this?
That's like the only castle. When we went to this place, we thought it was a castle. You know what I mean? That's the only like castle part of it.
So what? So that's just what, like a little room or a little turret or something?
Yeah, that's probably the only actual structure that has four walls. Everything else is like it's in an open courtyard kind
Right.
of deal.
Where did this dude live? Did he like live there too, or?
I have no idea.
All right. I think the next one's a little movie.
Yeah, let's see how this bad boy plays. So that's like in the courtyard. I had to do this very secretly. But you know Dogan's gonna get some video, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be able to sleep if I didn't get a little action.
There you go. No, that looks good.
Testing out
Here,
the
I'll
new
play
phone.
it again.
I mean, they maintain it pretty well, so
There's that turret or a castle.
so yeah, it's just like a big courtyard with all this stone.
And again, if you're listening on one of the audio platforms, we do all of our episodes live on our YouTube channel. So check out our YouTube channel and subscribe. And we have slides to some of the things we're talking about, as well as little short videos and stuff. So
Yeah.
this next one, is this a video too? Or is that the same one? Wait.
But it really puts people to shame in today's world. Like, you think you have a hard job? Look what this guy did.
Well, it depends though. He might have had something that made it so easy. It's like,
even if you had something, you got to chisel that out of the ground.
even a
That's not
caveman
easy.
can do it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's pretty sweet though, like that you can do weddings there and stuff like that. So
Oh, you can't like inside there and stuff?
no, it would be all outside.
Chisel a pipe into one of the
I'm sure there were places.
luges. People are
There's mushrooms growing all over the place.
what's that
Yeah,
thing
so-
that's like sticking up? It kind of looks like a wing or something next to the Saturn. You see what I'm saying?
No, that ball.
See the Saturn, the
Yeah.
penis or whatever it is. See
Uh-huh.
to the right of it. What is that thing?
That's the moon.
Oh, never mind. It looked like a three-prong or like a trident. I was just looking at it from like a weird angle. Never mind.
No, and again, I mean I think that's where all the alien stuff comes from, because it's like why is this guy so fascinated with the stars and whatnot? But again, he might have just had a thirst for that knowledge.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if you look up there, obviously Florida in 1920, especially that was like all farmland back there. So I'm sure you get a great glimpse of the sky.
right.
It's right by the Everglades and stuff. So
All right. Let's see what we got here.
yeah, if any of our listeners have ever
This guy,
been there,
man of the
what?
people.
Here I built this.
If you're listening to this, you have to see this picture of Maurice because he looks like a jackass. But
Yeah, I'm having fun, man.
he is. He's living
Oh
his
my
best
Lord.
life, as
Sorry,
they
you
say.
can't,
These
you can't have fun
youths,
without Michael attacking you.
as these youths say, he's living his best life.
But no, if like I was saying, if any of our listeners have ever been there, or if they have a theory, that leave a comment below. We'd love to hear what you're thinking here. But
Yeah, I'm not against anything. Like, I don't, obviously, based on what I'm seeing, it looks very impressive, but it doesn't look like, again, like, oh my God. It's not like we're looking at some sort of like even small pyramid or something. It's like, I don't even know. It's like the ultimate rock garden, right? Or something like that.
yeah, again, like I said, I think you got to have one hell of a ethic to be able to pull this off. Because that's something that's not built overnight, and the stone element. It's one thing if it was wood and you had saws and this and that, but this guy's chiseling this out of the ground, then moving it. So there is a mysterious element to it. That's for sure.
All right, let's go to this next one. The short video here.
I think it might just be a different angle of the inside.
Yeah, it is. That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, even that little moon on the top of that one's still got to be heavy. Super heavy.
1,100 tons. What's a ton? 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So let's do a little math here. You carry the one.
This guy's take it. I'm not even gonna do it because we'll get fucking pwned for it. But
It says it's 2 million pounds of stone.
that's crazy.
2.2 million pounds.
All right,
Okay,
let's go to the next
one.
This guy's doing math. It shows the math on the screen.
I wish I could go to all these kind of places. It would be sweet to do like a mound zone.
You can. We'd probably make actual.
Yeah.
We could make a legit channel of you touring around, just do the voiceover for it. And here's Maurice in his natural element.
Yeah.
Look at that pose. All right, let's go. What's that tall one on the right? That like
That's
Man,
a,
here,
that's a
look at
light
the-
they installed.
oh no, to the left of the light.
I don't know. It's just another.
It looks like an obelisk or something.
Yeah.
shitty
Like I said, I
obelisk.
don't know. I don't know if you have that. There's a picture of a stone circle thing. That part was pretty interesting because it was what this guy would like strap himself onto this disc and
It looks
spin
like
himself around.
It looks like you have
man.
some roses in your hair in this picture.
Yeah, I did. I was trying to add a little bit of color. They maintain this place immaculately, though. I'll give them
Oh,
that.
sure.
But like I said, they really push the alien aspect when you walk in. Like there's little mini, aliens and.
But do they
around
say
the stone
aliens
structure.
at any time?
They just say we don't know. We don't know. He healed himself from tuberculosis. He used the energies of the earth, and he knew secrets. And then when I got back, I started to do some research, and it didn't seem like it was. It didn't seem like it was out of the question for someone.
Yeah.
That had
I mean,
a strong
again,
will and-
obviously
and the
something
capacity.
happened. He couldn't have just lifted these things. So obviously this dude did something. We don't know what it is. Who
Yeah, I mean, do
knows?
you think he used a crane to pick it out? I don't know.
It could have been a crane. I thought there was some picture of him with like a box. He had this box. That might be that perpetual motion holder thing. And then like two like planks or like wood things. I don't even know. Yeah, I have no idea.
Let me see.
Anyways, but yeah, I mean, this is pretty crazy. Or I definitely want to check it out. Um,
Yeah, it's not really by where your dad is, but
no, still go there. We go to that side of the state sometimes.
yeah, again, when you put it in the terms of pounds, if it's 2 million pounds of stone,
Yeah,
that's pretty crazy.
right. You lift it up, it's like fake, like those like fake weights. Everybody's staring
Well,
at these things.
I mean,
They
that's
look
the thing that people say. It's like it's coral. It's not limestone, so it is porous. So it is lighter than the normal um,
right.
stone. But I don't know. How could
Yeah, I
one
mean,
person
he
cut?
could have used like levers, and those kids said that they saw him lifting in the air like a hydrogen balloon. Maybe he had some sort of contraption or rope, or like who knows what was going on there.
Yeah, but who are these kids that said that?
Exactly. The whole thing could be made up too. It could have been a dude. It could have been a dude with like a bulldozer, like the first bulldozer. He invented like the first, tractor. Not that. Those were probably, obviously
Well,
around
they
for a
said
while.
that he used some kind of like pulley system. So again,
Again,
that's like
he's
the
an
main.
engineer too, so he definitely understands physics and momentum and things like that too. So he could definitely, I'm sure, you know, I don't know. Who knows?
So it says obviously his 16-year-old fiance left him, really crushed his heart, and then he left for the United States. He came down with terminal tuberculosis, but spontaneously healed, staring or he said magnets is what was the
Yeah,
reason that.
magnets. I read that too. Magnets. It was the magnets.
But yeah,
Um,
they did say that a few teenagers claimed that. Yeah, because teenagers are the most reliable source. Let's remind you that. But they said that he was moving them with hydrogen balloons or perpetual motion holder. It was
yeah, I mean,
originally named Ed's Place. Maybe he just liked to entertain. You know what I mean? It was a local bar.
yeah, there you go. I mean, that is a sweet place to have, like you said, people having like weddings or like outdoor events or whatever.
Oh my God! Could you imagine um, back in the 20s?
No, I know.
But he was there for a while. He died in 1951. Um, I wonder who gets the money that the place makes.
Somebody was commenting on something I was reading where they were talking about how he sold it to somebody, and then those people sold it to somebody else, and his estate doesn't get it, but some other people get it. I don't know exactly, but I feel like that's what I read.
So among the features, there's a two-story castle tower. Oh, that castle tower is his living quarters. I mean, this guy was living very, very minimalist in that tower thing because it's
So
not
he
big
did
at
live
all.
in the turret looking thing, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So there's a two-story tower that served as his living quarters. Uh, there's an accurate sundial, a polar telescope, an obelisk, a barbecue, a water well, a fountain, celestial stars and planets, and numerous pieces of furniture.
No, that
There's
looks awesome.
25 rocking chairs there and a throne. I
Did
want
you
to see if
sit?
they say anything.
Did you sit on the rocking chairs?
Yeah.
Did they rock?
Yeah, literally, they're made of rock, bro. Very pun. It's a pun here. So there was a 9-ton revolving 8-foot tall gate. That's the part that sucked because the thing was broken. Like that would be incredible to see that thing in action because it just glided so smoothly. Um, but then it rusted, and then they tried to rebuild it, but they couldn't figure it out. It's funny too because I posted a picture of me at the castle the other day, and one of my friends was like, "That place is unbelievable." So people must know about it, you know. Again, like if you're into the ancient alien things like that, if it's on an episode of that, I'd like to take a peek because I want to see what they say. You know how they're always just like, "Or was it aliens?" And yes, there was a barbecue. I don't know where, but I mean, any of that stuff could have been barbecue. You put a couple of coals down and
No, it is on an episode H. Like I said, they don't in that episode they don't say it was aliens. I think they say it was like a Tesla scenario. Like this guy had some sort of, but then they might have gone like, well, was he connected to the stars, or whatever.
yeah.
So
Yeah, again, maybe he meditated and then say, where do ideas come from, and how do these guys think outside the box and push, technology to the next level? You could always say that it's coming from some other place because where do ideas come from? You're not creating them in your mind. It's like a transmission, like a great
well,
song.
that's what we do here. That's metaphysics.
So
That's what we do, baby.
who's saying that they didn't come from the stars? It just wasn't like a green man came down and showed them a map. It's not. I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
But and at the with the same token, I don't think it's like Gamehenge. I don't think it's like Stonehenge.
Gamehenge. Some people might
I think
not
they
get
just built
that.
it up. I think they built it up um to try and get people to come there. And yeah, oh, here we go. Season 2, episode 8 of Ancient Aliens, Mysterious Structures. So there's a couple of different little tidbits. There was a 1961 film, Nude on the Moon, was shot at Coral Castle. I mean, it's a phenomenal place to shoot stuff. That would be a sick place for a music video. Like I said, the Billy Idol 1986 song Sweet 16 was inspired by the story of Ed and
No,
the
you
Coral
shoot
Castle.
some sort of like ancient, shit like about like ancient people there.
Yeah.
Just make it seem, you could do something like that.
Yeah, you just have to shoot it while the guide isn't watching, because that they don't want that stuff
No,
on film.
you get permission or whatever. They'll take money. That's what they're after, guaranteed.
And the video game Fortnite, there's a location called Coral Castle. So
Yeah, I played Fortnite. I'm trying to think. I don't know if that's that's connected. Maybe it is. I don't know.
too bad they don't have actual. I mean, he said that there's the guy was discussing it. So I just want to see what his take, the actual Ed dude. I don't know how to say his last name, but was he like very mysterious
Leedskalnin.
about it, or was he like? Because that's the other thing. It's like you build something like this. Do you want to be like, oh yeah, aliens help me, or do you want to take the credit for the hard work you put in? You know what I mean? Because the alien stuff kind of belittles the dude's hard work. If I built something out of stone,
Well,
I
that's
wouldn't
the
want.
argument against ancient aliens in general. It's basically taking credit for passing credit off on, oh, it was aliens as opposed to like, the Egyptians or the Mayans or whoever. It's the same argument.
Yeah.
That's why people don't like ancient. And I agree with that too. I don't think we need to be pedantic about it and put people down that do like ancient aliens, but I do think that there is an element of that's true, that it's like, why aren't we giving the human beings that made this stuff the credit that they deserve? And why are, so And we might be aliens if panspermia is correct or whatever. We might be the aliens. So you don't even need to make up a different entity for these things because we might be that. So
Another cool fact is he bought that property for $3,500, which is was worth still only worth 36,000.
the property's only worth 36,000 still.
While the property was being investigated. Oh no, I'm sorry. Never mind. They found money. I'm reading about his death.
Oh yeah. I think I read that too. That they found like he had saved that amount of money from his
tours and whatnot.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe he was trying to pass it off as something to get more people to come in and take a peek at it.
Hey, life's hard. You got to make money. No, but I mean, that is impressive. Look, so like that's the stupid thing is people should be impressed by that without thinking that it was aliens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you don't have to, like, yeah, that adds an element to it. Obviously, people want to believe there's more going on, but just that sight alone on its own is impressive for anybody to do. Even if he did have a little help, it still would be that impressive. So.
Again, it's coming back to to today's world. It's like people that complain about having to do some real work. This is back in the day where it was all sweat on the brow type stuff. And
I could totally see you out there with like a hoe and a pickaxe. We should give you the tools that the Egyptians had and see what kind of headway you could make in there.
Well, again, that's my next stop is the pyramids.
Ooh.
I might be killed for the footage.
Reporting for booty.
Yeah, no. I want to do more Maurice adventures. I like going to these places. Again, this was just kind of a spur of the moment type thing, and I think I was more impressed with it than my girlfriend was. But it is
again,
what it is.
she sees some, she's got more impressive stuff where she grew up. Not that this is impressive, but
No, I think again, being in the presence of the pyramids and things like that, I think they'll desensitize you to a couple of stone things. But obviously, this was a one man. The people that I was talking to said there was multiple people working on this thing, but it says it took them 28 years to do it. So that's not insane.
Yeah, I mean, according
that's
to Mark,
a long time to work on something.
According to Mark Lenner, who's like the mainstream Egyptologist, says that it took like 20 to 25 years for the pyramids to be built. So, I mean, took this guy longer to build this than it did the pyramids.
So whenever anyone would
ask, if
you
believe that,
right. But I was just gonna sum this up with whenever anyone would ask Ed how he moved the blocks, he would only reply, he understood the laws of weight and leverage.
Good night, everybody.
Well, but no, this is the good night, everybody. But then he also stated, and I discovered the secrets of the pyramids. I'll talk to you guys next time.
This has been Maurice's Adventures.
It's not Maurice, because again, like I said, was he trying to do the same stuff that the place is doing now, where it's like you give them a little nibble and then you blast them with a mystery to keep them intrigued. We know how the human race is all about mystery.
Yeah, that could possibly be it. It could just be that, again, dude works super hard on it. If you work super hard on something, you shouldn't feel bad to ask money for, whether it's music, art, our documentary, which is now $7.77 on our Patreon.
Ladies and gentlemen.
No, but seriously, I do feel that way. I feel like if you put a lot of time and effort into something, you should not feel ashamed to ask for it. And I've had to learn that myself. I was always early on, there's some people that are really good at monetizing what they do. I am not necessarily that person yet, maybe in the future, but I come from a sales background, and I just feel like the creative side of what I do and what I'm into is more sacred than putting on that facade that I had done in most of my adult life, which I felt like was very fake and disingenuous. And there's nothing, I don't feel that way about people that are in those fields, by the way. I just feel like that's just not who I was. I have to be real, I feel like, all the time. And most people that know me know that I'm very open and honest at all times. And so that's kind of something that I've had to learn as we go, but we'll see. But yeah, I mean, this was awesome, Maurice. Thanks for going there and sharing your picks and stuff.
Totally. I'll have to make it down to one of those mounds. Maybe I'll buy Dr. Little some dinner, and we'll take a couple shovels out there, see what we can dig up. But no, I love the adventure stuff. Again, like, if I had my drone, I'll push it. How can I say this? I'd rather ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. So I'm just gonna film, and then if something happens, I'll ask him to use it.
Maurice, renegade photographer.
Yeah, Lorenzo Lamas, the renegade. You don't know the renegade?
Yeah, I do know what you're talking about now. That stupid show that used to be on like USA or whatever.
Yeah, they call me the Gonzo Ramos. But no, thanks for joining us today, everybody. I know I haven't been on a lot of episodes lately, and you guys have been doing more of a serious based discussion.
Don't lie. You said I don't want to be on this show anymore, and I said you're fired. And I said you're fired.
Your friend stopped by today. He was fired.
No, Maurice has just been busy. He was editing the documentary. He's got a lot of personal life stuff going on, good stuff, and he's busy with work. And I told him, however many he wants to be on, he's always, he'll be on.
Yeah, I want to do more if it's possible coming up here. But you got yourself some good replacements.
You're fired.
You got Shane, and you've been fired. You got Shane, and no one could ask for a better co-host than Shane. I watched the one you guys did about the documentary, and he was very investigating. He had the iPad out. We'll just say that. He was looking hard. He was flicking and flopping, and
he was taking it to the limits, as they say in the montage world.
Yeah. But thanks for joining us, everybody. Smash that like button. It really helps the algos, push us to the top. We need we got to grow this bad boy. It's time to get the knowledge out there. And I'm not going to rest until it's out there, You can call me Lorenzo Lamas, and
he's going to get his boat and go upriver. No, but check. Thanks again. That was awesome with the pictures, and hopefully we'll get Maurice to more sites. And I'd like to get out to some of these sites at some point too. And we'll be working on future projects and some of this kind of stuff. Probably more weird, paranormal, alien stuff, I'm sure too. And obviously we do the Roswell UFO Symposium podcast with Shane and Toby. So look for those. And
are you guys doing those every week, or what's going on?
Yeah,
with that?
We're trying to. It's just, again, it's tough. They were traveling, they were at the alien events, and then we had the documentary release, and it's just been kind of like one thing after another. But we'll get on track with all this stuff here coming up, and just if you're interested in watching As Within, So Without, our new documentary. The Patreon link is down below, and all of our links are on our LinkTree down below. So if you're looking for anything, it's pretty much on there. And
we really appreciate the love and the support, and everybody who's already contributed. And again, we're not out there trying to take your money and just use it for random things. We're gonna take in the money and invest it in the future projects, and it's only gonna fund our endeavors down the road. So, but again, we appreciate everybody that's contributed so far, and
that's what it's been from the beginning too. All the donations from Patreon and stuff. It all goes to keeping the show going. You know, it does cost money for all the services and subscriptions and all the different things, software and gear and all sorts of stuff, broken cables, every other, you know, all the stuff just adds up. So we appreciate everybody contributing. And if you watch the first episode till now, you'll see a dramatic difference in quality, content, all that stuff. So everybody that supported us through the way, you know, Sandy, you know, you got your Sandy, you got your, you know, escapees, as we like to call them.
Yeah.
You know, all of our friends, everybody that was in the documentary, everybody out there, we love you and we appreciate everything you do. Maurice made a nice trailer, a short trailer for the documentary, so I'm going to play that as we get out of here. And again, everybody have a happy, or hope they had a happy Passover, and hope everybody has a happy Easter weekend. Please be safe out there, and we'll start getting back to normal here after this weekend. So we love everybody. Stay safe out there. Here's the short trailer to our new documentary. Peace.
And smash that like.
I don't have to believe. Something's here. There's no question about that.
They are not just from this planet, but based on the characteristics they're most often described having, that they're simply us from the future.
It was the biggest aircraft I've ever seen in my entire life. It was semi-translucent, it seemed.
We see 4 orange orbs flying one after another, basically in formation.
I think in a way, you know, you could call a UFO a flying dream.
Out of the cornfield, that 7-foot-tall, gray, menacing, communion-looking alien, or whatever you want to call it.
Because it can be a multitude of things, of deities, of godlike creatures, of aliens.
The reality that we experience on a day-to-day basis seems to be this very, very thin slice of something far larger and far more complex.
As within, so without. From UFOs to DMT.